Starting. Okay, we're live.
Okay. All right, I have the questions raised. Okay, what did you learn about standards of beauty based on culture, and is there overlap? It was actually really interesting from the videos. Like, both videos were practically spot on as far as what was considered beauty from this girl from America in Korea and this actual Korean girl. And I also like that they put in a guy there as well, because it's interesting especially in, I've noticed in Japanese and Korean cultures, because K-pop and J-pop are so big right now, that there are guy bands and girl bands on both Asian cultures. And so I really like that there was a guy's perspective on beauty as well in that.
What was the question again?
What did you learn about standards of beauty based on culture? Is there overlap? Oh, I don't know if we got this, but yeah. So like basically what I'm getting and seeing is that the brown woman or the black woman is like thick, right? Thick. And what's the word I want to use? The Western woman is the standard for beauty for her is like thin, vogue.
Yeah.
And then we got the Koreans who are small and really pretty.
Yep. I think it really all do have a different perspective of beauty, because of some of it does have to do with, you know, the biological point. Like, bigger women in certain areas means that they're either rich or they can actually bear children.
Yeah, right.
And then for other cultures, it could also be because it's different. Like in the Korean culture, nobody has that. And so because it's not as common to have a double lid, that's why they go and look for that and get surgery for that, because it isn't common.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the American, like the Western beauty standards are leading into Korea, because they want, because if you look at them, their face shapes are almost always like square. Like they almost always have square shapes. And so they're like trying to get something different. They want a V shape. Like the Western woman has like such a sleek and thin and like prominent chin. And then they want like the double eyelids, and they want like a slimmer nose. And I heard it's like really common to get plastic surgery in Korea. It's just like getting your ears pierced. Like,
oh yeah,
all the women do it.
Especially for people of J-pop. I was reading a couple of articles about J-pop alone, and how if you are to be this in part of it's more so K-pop that I've heard of, where you have to go through surgery. If you want to make it big in the business, you don't come in like your normal self. Like I did my paper for beauty on Adele, because she is a beautiful woman and she's very successful. And so it's very different from the media. And so she's kind of one of those things. And I even looked online to do that beauty paper, and I was looking at the top 10 beautiful women. Beyonce was number one in majority of the resources I found. And I think around number 3, Emma Watson as one of the most beautiful women, which is very interesting because she's so plain looking compared to like Beyonce. But it's so interesting.
But I feel like Beyonce really hits the standard, because she's thin but not too thin. She's thick but not too thick. She's dark but not too dark.
Yeah, you know, that's like, so true.
Her facial features are like nothing too prominent on there. There's no one can say like, oh, Beyonce's so skinny or Beyonce's so fat or Beyonce's like so dark or like she's like, I don't know, she's pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Pretty,
Yeah.
plus she has the money, she has the money and the wealth to keep her beauty, you know, like to maintain her skin and her hair and like whatever is the culture and the norm, she can change. And so she's kind of like a beauty icon because of that, but also because like her genetics too. Which
that kind of raises a good point. Like not about like area culture, but even about class culture within beauty is when you get to a certain age, like the people who can afford to maintain their beauty, because like skincare, hair care, nail care, things like that, it's not free. Like you can tell the people who put in money and are able to put in money. It separates classes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then like I've seen like photos of Rihanna without, you know, like her before, and it's like Rihanna before, Rihanna after. Like she's so pretty because she has money to have like expensive makeup and have her hair all curled and pleated, and before her hair was like crazy. I mean, she's still really beautiful, but like she can whiten her teeth now. She can do her nails, and that makes her look more feminine and like taken care of. And she's not white, but she's one of the other beautiful women that.
Okay. Next question. What do certain standards of beauty translate from one culture to another or not? I think one thing that I kind of noticed between all of the cultures is the smooth skin. Like there's no wrinkles, no acne. That's one thing I've noticed that is cross-culture. And also, maybe not quite thin. It's kind of like they're toned. Their body structure is toned. And they have the curves in the right places. Because even in the Korean one, like, you know, you have the boob, the butt, but then also in all the curves in the right places.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I think. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
I think it's interesting that you like mentioned the skin. That's something that I didn't really like realize, but I think that kind of plays into like cultural values of like youthfulness. Like people tend to look at youthfulness as like more beautiful. So like, you know, none of the girls really have like acne or anything, so that shows that they're like out of the adolescent stage, but they also don't have wrinkles or like aged looking skin. So they're kind of like in the prime, or it looks like they're in the prime of their lives, right? That like 18 to 25 or whatever. Yeah, and that's like the best time to bear children and stuff like that. So I don't know, I just thought that was interesting.
Gosh, sorry.
You're good.
That's such a good point. That's like one thing they have in common. It's a good point to maybe bring up in our paper, because like they have different hair textures, different skin colors, different body types, but then they're all toned and they're all like clear skin, because it shows that they're young and they're like agile and they're, you know, they're making babies. Yes. Yeah, I definitely see the transfer. Like Korean skincare is so big right now, and people in America are starting to notice, like, wow, Koreans, like, we want to be like Koreans, we want to have 10-step skincare regimens, and Korean, they're like, oh, we want to be like Westerners because Western pop artists are you know, making it big, so we gotta have the V-shaped face, and we gotta have double eyelids because we can't look too Asian. Like, we want to fit in. And then you have like some Westerners, like Kylie Jenner, who's like really into the like urban fashion or urban beauty. Like big lips, you know, and like thick hips and thick thighs, and I think they're all beautiful. It's just everyone's like sharing things that they think are beautiful and promoting them, which is cool. How do hegemonic oh, shall we move to the next one?
Yeah.
How do hegemonic racial standards of beauty affect the way people think about themselves or how others think about them?
Well, I guess kind of like in that first video with the American lady, how she was just like conscious that her students were looking at her, and that she started to understand like the signs of how they were like trying to proportion her body. So it's kind of like she became self-conscious because she was like, my own students who I'm trying to teach right now is looking at me and doing all of these kind of calculations on me and telling me whether or not I look good, you know, instead of focusing on the assignment that she's teaching.
Mm-hmm.
This brings me back to like your environment that you're in. Like kind of like my story about being the tallest person growing up, because I was among all these people who are like the average height was like way shorter than I was. So then it affects how I view myself. And so I think as women, if we're constantly being exposed like so much to like one type of look and one type of beauty, then we're bound to compare ourselves to that type of beauty because we realize we're different. And I think that's why it's so important for like Black girls to be represented in the media too, you know, like because then they're exposed to that more. Like, look at that beautiful Black actress, or look at that beautiful Mexican actress, or that Korean girl. Like, there's so much more of that. So then it like increases your scope of beauty so you can fit yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think the hegemon. Sorry, I'm like talking so much.
No, you're good. It's good.
I think the hegemon race is the Western race. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Not because they're beautiful, but other races are beautiful, but it's just that they have more exposure. Like they have way more exposure because they have a powerful media, like global media. They are well traveled, like they are almost all over the world. Even in business, they're kind of like English is the official language of business, so everyone learns English. They're exposed to English speakers so much, and that exposure creates the headline. I think we should talk about the poems because we're like.
One of the poems I couldn't open. I don't know why. It just kept on saying like.
Oh, okay.
Which one about security? It's weird.
The second.
Let me get to it. I think whatever one that was not talking about the fat Black woman.
Oh,
because I could read one.
Well, they're actually both talking about that. Well, this one talks about fat brown woman. So this is the fat brown woman, not the fat Black woman, which is. Okay. Yes. Both. Here, I forward it. Okay. So this one is about. I like the second one because it's about an island girl.
The songs of the brown woman that for some reason it says that my clock is behind and that I need to adjust. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, okay, I sent it. I put it on the Facebook chat. if you guys want to read it.
Okay.
Where is it? Okay.
Okay, so do the speakers in the poems think about their appearance in positive or negative ways, different standards of beauty?
Okay. So I just like read like maybe the first part, but it's like I think we discussed it earlier about how important the environment is, because here it seems like it. I'll be honest. This sounds like a Polynesian woman in Polynesia. So their version of beauty is her, whereas in the other one, she is. It's almost like she is in that Western mindset. She is among the Caucasian culture, the Western culture, and so because of that, like she's in London. So a lot of it does have to do with the environment and that expectation of you are different, you shouldn't be different, you should be like us, even though you're of a different culture. So it's really funny because I was talking about this. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you're good. The second one is written by a Maori girl. It says best New Zealand poem, so I'm just gonna assume that this person is Maori or is some kind of Pacific Islander. Yeah. The first one, she's like super frustrated. The second one, she's like, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna do whatever I feel. I'm gonna keep taking my hips. Saying that I want to stay. Don't piss me off. He says, but piss the fat brown woman off, and you see eyes you never seen before, and a mouth you never heard before. If I was you, I'd stay clear out of the way of the fat brown woman when she's mad, when she's pissed. I'd stay clear out of the way of wherever she's going. She going sit. So she's like more powerful.
I love that.
Right. So she's in her. She's where she belongs. She knows she belongs there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the other girl's like, I don't belong here.
Yeah.
He says, confine, no, blah, 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 no king, no prince can contain, constrain, confine the foot of the fat brown woman, because the feet of the fat brown woman are grounded nicely to the bellies of her mamas, the fat blue Pacific, the fat brown earth. We have one girl that's like owning it, and the other. Who's writing the next paper? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I can't even remember the order. I can never remember it.
I think it's Jay,
I know
Betty, Nicole, and then me. Right? Unless Nicole, did you write a paper recently? I think I'm
I
after.
can't remember which one it was.
So like we don't know who's writing the next paper. Okay.
Hang on, let me look.
Oh yes, I remember. I wrote the paper after Jay. Right? Didn't you write the last paper?
I did the Frankenstein one last time.
Okay.
Then I think it's Nicole and then
Yeah.
Nicole. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
So I'm doing the next one. Okay.
Okay. So let's see. What kind of image do they create of themselves based on these different standards of beauty? Gosh, this is a lot of stuff to discuss in one paper.
I know, and it's like only a page and a half.
I mean, she doesn't want us to really discuss like the Korean.
I think this paper more so has to do with the mindset of
Culture.
does beauty have a culture to it? Is kind of what I'm getting from it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And if there is a culture to beauty, what's not, what is it, kind of thing. So I think that's how I'm going to format the paper.
Okay.
Because then it kind of covers everything.
Oh yeah.
That sounds good.
That sounds awesome. Okay. So what kind of image do they create of themselves based on these different standards of beauty? So the first one is like a girl that's frustrated and doesn't belong. Her image is like passive. Like, I don't know. Just kind of sad.
Mm-hmm. And then I think the Polynesian one, the girl is, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, she looks inside herself for confidence. She doesn't need it from other people who think she's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she has their identity like really set. You know? The Pacific Ocean and the fat Mother Earth. That's who I am. Like she's so much more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else?
Okay. You guys have anything else to add? Hi, Norea.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Because I think all the feedback that we got will help me to write this paper.
Okay. So we did get an extension on today's paper, right?
Huh?
We did get an extension on today's paper, right?
That's what it looked like from the message.
Okay. I gotta come home and go to work. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.